Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're diving into a critical phase of any solar project, the part that really separates the amateurs from the pros. Picture this. You finish the wiring, you flip the switch, and boom, the system powers on. It runs the loads, and everything looks perfectly normal. But here's the reality check. A system that simply turns on isn't automatically safe, efficient, or properly installed. So today we're walking through a complete post-install performance audit, using two absolutely essential tools, a clamp meter and a thermal camera.
Okay, let's dive into this. We really need to shatter the illusion that just because your system is running its loads, the job is totally done. The hard truth is, electrical systems rarely just fail instantly. Nah, they degrade quietly over time. This happens through super subtle heat buildup, minor load imbalances, and creeping inefficiencies. If you stop at, hey, it works, you are leaving your system seriously vulnerable. Our goal today isn't just to see if the lights turn on, it's to catch those quiet, early signs of degradation way before they turn into catastrophic failures.
So we need to make a massive paradigm shift here. The standard confirmation of operation is what most basic tutorials show you, right? It's a surface-level demo. You check for voltage, do a quick visual scan, and call it a day. It shows you what to do, but not what the readings actually mean. True fault detection, on the other hand, requires a rigorous performance audit. We're talking about comparing every single measurement against calculated expectations. We're not just confirming operation, we are actively hunting for specific failure signatures.
To pull this off correctly, we've got to start with some foundational math. Don't worry, it's simple. Power equals voltage multiplied by current, or P equals V times I. This is literally the core equation of our entire performance audit. As your load demand goes up, current increases, while your voltage should stay stable under rated conditions. We're going to use this formula constantly as our ultimate system efficiency check. If you want to spot hidden inefficiencies, well, this simple equation is your new best friend.
Section 1. The clamp meter test. Calculating real power.
Let's seamlessly transition right into the first procedural step, utilizing your clamp meter correctly. Step 1 is pretty straightforward. Turn it on and select the correct AC or DC mode, depending on the exact conductor you're measuring. But step 2, this is where people get into trouble. You must clamp a single conductor only. Never, ever clamp both the live and neutral wires together. If you do that, the opposing magnetic fields just cancel each other out, giving you a big, fat zero. That false reading can totally mislead you into thinking a circuit is dead when it's actually live. And you know, that's a really great way to get a very unpleasant shock. All right, let's put that meter to work. Start right at the inverter output. Clamp the meter to measure the AC current flowing out to your load. Multiply that AC current by your measured AC voltage, and bam, you've got your real AC output power. Next, move over to the DC side. Clamp the positive cable running between the battery and the inverter to measure your DC current draw. Multiply that by your battery voltage, and there you have it, your DC input power. So the crucial point is the relationship between these two measurements. Your DC input power must always, inherently, be higher than your AC output power. Why is that? Well, systemic losses. The actual process of inverting DC power into AC power creates heat and consumes energy. So power going in must always exceed power coming out. It's just physics.
And that brings us to system efficiency. If you take your AC output power and divide it by your DC input power, you get a percentage. Now, this number can never be exactly 100% because of those conversion losses we just talked about. However, if you run the numbers and find a massive gap, like say your DC input is astronomically higher than your AC output, that is a huge red flag. It instantly tells you there are severe inefficiencies or hidden system faults that you absolutely need to track down right away.
Let's move to and see how this builds in Section 2, the thermal inspection, hunting for hidden resistance.
You're going to want to do this thermal scan while power is actively flowing and current is present, because that is exactly when problems reveal themselves. Turn on your thermal camera and systematically scan every critical connection point. We're looking at battery terminals, fuse holders, breakers, inverter input lugs, the distribution panel, MC4 connectors, and your cable lugs. Do not leave a single connection unexamined. Now, let me share a professional secret for interpreting your thermal imaging. You aren't just looking for hot, in absolute, qualitative terms. Nope, you are looking for a quantitative metric, delta T. This represents the actual temperature difference between your connection point in the ambient environment, or even between identical connections sitting under the exact same load. A single connection that's significantly hotter than its immediate neighbors, that is a glaring warning sign.
So, Why is a high delta T so incredibly dangerous? Because heat is directly related to resistance. The formula for power loss is current squared times resistance. If a connection is heating up under load, it has high resistance. That means your valuable energy is literally being wasted as heat. You've essentially installed a tiny, unwanted space heater right inside your wiring. And more importantly, this localized heating from something like a loose terminal or a hidden joint is a severe fire risk. No way we want that.
Section 3. Synthesizing data for diagnostics. The dynamic stability check.
And this brilliantly illustrates the real power of this audit, using both of these tools together. Think about it. If you only used a clamp meter and saw a normal current, you might pack up your tools and walk away thinking everything is fine. But a loose connection can absolutely still pass a normal current while quietly heating up to dangerous levels. When you combine that normal current reading with a thermal hotspot detected by your camera, boom, you have definitively exposed hidden resistance. It's a joint quietly failing right in front of you.
By synthesizing this data, you can start identifying specific failure signatures. For example, if your current is much higher than calculated, you might be dealing with misconfigured loads or an overload situation. Or, if you see an excessive thermal rise across an entire wire, not just the joint, you're likely looking at undersized conductors causing excessive I²R losses. And if your readings differ wildly across phases, well, you've got imbalanced loads causing totally unnecessary stress on your inverter.
To finalize the diagnostic, you need to perform a dynamic stability check. Don't just test this thing under max load. Reduce the load on the system and really observe how it responds. Does the current drop proportionally to the load reduction? Do the temperatures at those hot connection points actually begin to normalize? If your thermal scan looks uniform and the current scales exactly with your calculated expectations, then you've confirmed that your system is dynamically stable.
Once you've safely shut the system down and physically rechecked any of those suspicious points, you can finally be confident. Because a solar system that passes this precise, calculated audit isn't just turning on. It's fundamentally safe, efficient, and reliable. Performing these checks, correlating your expected current, verifying balance, and analyzing those thermal delta thresholds, well, that's the true difference between mere installation and proper engineering.
We've covered the absolutely crucial steps to ensure a solar system is truly safe under load. But hey, theory is one thing and being out in the field is another. So I want to leave you with a question to chew on. Have you ever found a hidden hotspot or a totally abnormal current reading only after you thought an installation was complete? Reflect on your own commissioning processes and consider how combining a clamp meter and a thermal camera could completely change how you view a finished job. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.